the lymphatic system basically runs alongside, all of the vessels in the lymphatic system run alongside your blood vessels. This diagram gives you a kind of a visual of where the main or bigger lymphatic vessels are throughout your body. But everywhere that you have a blood vessel, you have a lymphatic vessel running alongside it. What happens is the blood vessels carry oxygen, nutrients, etc., round your body to all of the tissues in your body, so the bones, the muscles, the joints, all of that. And nutrients and oxygen will pass across the barrier, across the vessel, out of the blood vessel into the tissue or the interstitial spaces. And then your lymphatic vessels will pick up a lot of the waste products. So we used to think that the blood vessels pick back up 90% of the waste, and the lymphatic system just kind of is a backup system and takes away the other 10% that hasn't been picked up by the blood vessels. But that's not the case. Research in the last 10 years has demonstrated that the lymphatic system is far more significant than that, and it may pick up as much as 90% of the waste in the body. So it's really, really essential for waste collection. And if you can imagine, if you have stagnant fluid in your body with lots of waste in it, how unhealthy would that be for all of the tissue in your body, for your muscles, your bones, for your immune system? So it's really important that your lymphatic system is flowing all of the time, picking up the waste and bringing it through the lymphatic vessels to the lymph nodes where it's filtered, and then eventually it goes back into the bloodstream and all the waste will go out through your kidneys and the way that other waste is eliminated through your body. So the main functions of the lymphatic system are your waste management system, really. And the lymph nodes also identify if you have any foreign bodies that need to be fought off. So I always refer to the lymphatic system as the engine of your immune system, for the reason being that the waste is picked up in the vessels and any other bits floating around in your body, brought to the lymph nodes, and the lymph nodes will have a look and say, right, this is a bacteria that we need to fight off here to prevent an infection or a virus or whatever it might be. And the lymph nodes will signal to the body or to the brain that we need to now make more of our T lymphocytes or B lymphocyte cells or whatever cells we need to fight off this infection, to kill these bacteria or viruses or whatever it is. So you need to be getting all of the waste in your body to the lymph nodes so that that process can happen. And you need your lymph nodes to be functioning fully and functioning well so that they can perform that job of identifying these things that need to be fought off and signaling the body to create the appropriate response. So let's have a quick look, just out of interest, where you have the largest clusters of lymph nodes in the body. So I don't know if you can see my little cursor moving around my screen, but up here around the jaw and the neck, we have large clusters of lymph nodes. So if you've ever had a cold or a throat infection and you feel that your glands are up around your neck, that's your lymph nodes. And when we say that they're up, they're inflamed, they are swollen, they might be tender, and that's because they're working harder in order to fight off an infection. So we also have clusters of lymph nodes around the collarbone, and then most commonly you will probably have heard about lymph nodes under the arm here or the axilla. So someone who has had breast cancer, for example, because these lymph nodes are very close to the breast and they effectively drain the section of the body where the breast is located, they may be involved in the cancer. So if you have cancer cells in the breast, some of those may have traveled to the lymph nodes under the arm, and therefore the surgeon will want to maybe take one or more lymph nodes out from under the arm in order to test if the cancer has traveled or in order to get the cancer out of the body. So that's the most common reason you would have heard of these lymph nodes under the arm. Likewise, in the crease of the elbow, we have more. In the crease at the groin, the crease at the back of the knee, and in our abdomen, we have a lot of stuff going on for the lymphatics as well. But these will be the main clusters of lymph nodes, around the neck and the jaw, under the arm, at the groin, and the creases of the elbow and the back of the knee. And you'll see why that's significant later. This is what it can look like when somebody has issues with their lymphatic system. Now, it might not just be because of a cancer treatment or lymph nodes being removed. If you've had a bad infection, for example, the lymph nodes might become so inflamed, they're working so hard that they may never recover, or they might have difficulty recovering. So they become hardened, they become blocked. And this is the effect that you might see. If the lymph nodes in the back of the knee here or in the groin are blocked or damaged or removed, fluid can start to build up from the foot. You'll usually see it at the foot first because gravity will bring the fluid down, if that makes sense. It's not exclusively going to look like this, but this is an image that a lot of people identify with. If they have issues with their lymphatic system, they'll see where that looks kind of like my foot. You may see something like this, where it's more obvious in the leg than in the foot. And it can be anywhere in your body. It could be the arms, the back, anywhere at all in your body. But the most obvious places that you will see it are going to be the likes of, if you have a blockage, the leg will start to swell up, the foot will swell up, the hand or the arm as well are sometimes the most obvious places that we see it. And I'm back. Okay, so for you guys, I think the most important notes for you are have a think back through your life, and you might be able to identify where you had significant changes in hormone levels in your body, if you had a significant period of stress, if you had a significant infection or some other type of trauma or interference in your body. It can cause issues in your lymphatic system or your immune system because it has been overstressed. So what can you do about that? Obviously, each of you is going to have your own individual story, and I'm not a physician or a doctor, so I can't prescribe anything. However, what I can tell you is that if you can boost your immune system, boost your lymphatic system, and get things flowing more freely, get that waste flowing out of your body more effectively, you can reduce inflammation in your body. A lot of issues that we have start with inflammation, right? It's an inflammatory response to something that has happened in the body, some trauma or stress. And you can boost the levels of certain chemicals in your body as well that help you to fight off infections. This can have a knock-on effect of boosting your energy levels and all sorts of wonderful things to help you feel better in one way or another. And it's not complicated to do this. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration of, this is something that I teach to all of my clients that come into the clinic. I often have, so I mentioned that a lot of the people who come into the clinic would be cancer survivors. However, I often have people come in who have maybe had lots of strange things happening in their body, and nobody can really give them an answer as to what's happening. They can't find a cause, a root cause, but something's not right, things are out of balance, and nobody can identify what it is, so they can't give them the right medicine or tell them what they need to do in order to fix this. They'll eventually find their way to me because they've been searching for ideas and suggestions and answers on the internet. And these are really interesting cases for me because we can't always pinpoint what's happening in the body, but when we get the lymphatic system flowing more freely, often people feel better. Some of their symptoms start to improve. Fatigue, for example, a lot of people find their energy levels improve when they start doing some of this technique that I'm going to show you. I also, in the last year and a half, have had a couple of clients come in after COVID, mostly because they knew that lymphatic drainage can help boost your immune system, or they felt that it would really help them with their fatigue if they were still feeling very fatigued after having COVID. So any kind of post-viral fatigue as well can potentially benefit from this technique, and it's really, really simple. So I'm going to show you the body brushing technique first. So first up, we have different sections in our lymphatic system. So if you can imagine a line down the center of my body here, and one across my collarbone and across my belly here. So this part of my body, of my torso, this is one section of my lymphatic system or one drainage area, same on the back here. So the lymph nodes under my arm here, they're collecting fluid from this arm, from this side of the chest and the torso, from the side and this part of the back as well. So if these are blocked for whatever reason, they've been overstressed, they've been fighting off an infection and haven't had time to recover yet, or they've been maybe damaged by an accident or a surgery, or maybe even removed. The fluid that normally goes to these lymph nodes reaches a bit of a dead end and can start to settle anywhere in this drainage area. You might visually be able to see some swelling, or you might feel that things are a little bit tender, a little bit sensitive, not quite sure why, but it doesn't feel right. Some people will feel a tightness or a heaviness, and that can be an indication that there's something going on. You may feel the lymph nodes under your arms. Not always, but sometimes when they're very inflamed, if you press in gently, you may be able to feel the enlarged lymph nodes. It's not something to worry about if you do feel them. If you've had a recent infection, or you know that your immune system is a little bit low at the moment, it's quite normal. However, I will say, if you spot something like that and it's not normal, and there's no reason why your immune system would be struggling at the moment, go and see your doctor just to get it checked out. Okay, so with that in mind, this section of the body, how do you do body brushing to improve your lymphatic system? So you may have seen different videos for dry body brushing for your heart, for example, and for your circulation, and for cellulitis, I was going to say cellulite. It's not completely different to what you would have seen before. However, when we're working on the lymphatic system, we always want to start close to the lymph nodes. This is the main difference. Okay, the best tip that I can give you, and the most effective way to improve your lymphatic system, start close to the lymph nodes and maybe even massage them a little bit. So relax your arm so that it's not tight under here. Take the pads of your fingers and press in. We call this palpating. We press and release, press, release, press, release. And it doesn't matter if you can feel the lymph nodes or not, you're going to be kind of pumping that whole area, and that can help to stimulate the lymph nodes there. Less is more when it comes to this kind of thing, and I'll explain why in a second. But you don't need to be very vigorous. So we palpate here, and the idea is to stimulate these lymph nodes, or if they've become hardened, we gently are massaging them to try and break down that fibrosis or that hardness so that it frees them up again to accept more fluid. So once we've done that, once we've activated these lymph nodes here, now they're ready to receive fluid. So what I'm going to do, if you imagine that your arm is hollow and full of water, if you try to push fluid from your fingertips up into here, it's a lot of fluid to move, right? It's a lot of fluid and a lot of trying to push it through a small area. So if you can think about it that way, it makes more sense, it's more logical to do section by section. Move a small bit of fluid here, and then move to the next section. Now you can do this with your bare hands and just gently sweep along the skin, or you can use the likes of a body brush like this. Just be sure that the bristles aren't too firm, because you don't want to scratch the skin. And remember, less is more, and you'll be doing this directly onto your skin rather than through your clothes. You don't have to do it in the shower. You can just be watching your favorite TV program or whatever it is, and just make sure that your skin is exposed, and we sweep, just like this. Sweep, sweep, sweep. One section, clear that. Imagine you're moving that bit of fluid into the lymph nodes and through, and then go to the next bit. Move that bit of fluid up to where you've just cleared. And you keep going down the arm. And right into the hand as well. Okay, and you can do the same here. You can go up to the lymph nodes and the collarbone here if you want to just keep going up, or go to this part of the arm and kind of take a detour then to where the lymph nodes are. Same on the back of the arm, all the time moving everything into these lymph nodes, but doing one section at a time, moving a small bit of fluid first, then moving to the next section. And we can also do this on other sections of the body. If you feel that you get a bit backed up here with fluid, you would push to the side and up to those lymph nodes in addition to what we did on the arm there. But we can also do it on the lower body, and I'll just give you a quick demonstration of that, because many people are going to have problems in the feet, right? We do exactly the same thing, but we're working towards the lymph nodes in the groin here. So again, if you imagine, I have that line down the center of my body, and each side is flowing in a different direction. Your belly button is also another marker. So below your belly button, you're going to move towards the lymph nodes here. And as always, we'll start close to the lymph nodes and move fluid up towards the lymph nodes, section by section. Exactly the same as you did for under your arm. If you like, you can get the pads of the fingers again. You'll have to relax so that the skin's not very tight and taut, and you can palpate here as well around where the lymph nodes would be to massage them and get them stimulated as well. It may be better to do that while you're sitting down, because when the knee is up, you'll have a bit more stretch in the skin here and you can go a little bit deeper. So you stimulate your lymph nodes here. Below your belly button, you're going to be sweeping towards the lymph nodes. On the leg, section by section, clear this section, and then we move to the next section, just as we did with the arm, and you can keep going all the way down the leg with that. Okay? The main thing to remember is that you start close to the lymph nodes, always, and do it section by section towards the lymph nodes. For the feet, if you find that you have any swelling or strange sensations on the bottom of the feet, you will sweep up towards the back of the knee. Top of the feet, all the way up towards the groin. That's the only thing I'll say about the feet there. Now, we're not only talking about swelling here, although a lot of people who have issues or blockages in the lymphatic system will find that they retain a lot of fluid. For the simple reason that the drainage system may not be working properly, it's not pulling the fluid out of the tissue and circulating it through the lymphatic system and out of the body. But it's not exclusively for issues with swelling. Even if you can't see the impact of a sluggish lymphatic system visually on your body as swelling, you may feel it as fatigue, or you're very prone to picking up all the bugs that are going around and every cold and sore throat, and etc. These can be indications that your lymphatic system is not working as effectively as it should. Also, if we talk about inflammation, you may not actually see that happening in your body, but if you do this brushing technique a couple of minutes every day, think of it as removing stagnant fluid from your body, which then draws in fresh fluid, fresh proteins into the area, will help to reduce inflammation. I really recommend, if you're not doing this already every day, try for 1 week, a couple of minutes every day, maybe 2 times a day, maybe 2 or 3 minutes in the morning, 2 or 3 minutes in the evening. There's no best time of day to do it. It's whatever is going to help you be consistent is going to be better. If you told me do 3 minutes of this every morning when you wake up, it will never happen, because I am terrible in the mornings. I'm just not a morning person, and it will be the first thing I do. I can have 3 more minutes in bed if I skip the brushing today. It's just the way I am. So for me, it's much better to do it in the evening. And only for that reason, because I'm much more alert in the evening and I will sit down and I will do it, no problem. So it's more important that you can be consistent with it rather than what time of day that you do it. The other thing that we can do for the lymphatic system is stay hydrated. And I can't stress this enough. Water, water, water. If you do not drink water, please start. It's so important. Every chemical reaction in your body takes place in water. If you're dehydrated, everything gets messed up. If you feel thirsty or your lips are dry, you're already dehydrated. So really make the effort to drink some water. And if you think of it like putting oil in the engine of your car, you have to put the water into your lymphatic system so that it has water and fluid in order to flush everything through it, through the system and out. If you don't have enough water in there, it's all going to get backed up. So water is so important. I know that in every walk of life, people talk about water can, make your skin look better and give you more energy. It's not lies. It's so important for every function in your body, and specifically for keeping your lymphatic system going and moving and flowing. The main takeaways would be body brushing. Highly recommend increase your water intake this week and do some body brushing a few minutes, once or twice per day, and see how you feel after 1 week. Notice if your energy levels have increased. If you have aches and pains, have they improved? If you do have swelling and fluid retention somewhere in your body, has that increased? Do you notice yourself going to the bathroom more because things are moving more through your body? So I would really encourage you guys, even for this week ahead, to give it a go and see what difference it makes for you personally in your body and in your life. Highly, highly recommend it. It's very simple. It's not too cumbersome. If you don't have a brush, you can use your hand, always on directly on the skin, and it's free. It's free to do, and it can really, really help your energy levels and your immune system.